Hey guys, and welcome back. So in honor of Pride Month, I decided to go on Instagram today and ask you if you had any burning bisexual questions that you wanted to ask. And I got a lot of questions, so thank you so much to everybody who sent them in. So let's dive right into this little Q&A, shall we? Someone asks, any tips to become bi? It will improve my odds. Right now, women drains my energy. Obviously sexuality is a choice. There are some things that can help you, and that is covering yourself in bio oil, go sit outside in the sun, listen to some Freddie Mercury and pray to the demi-gay gods. That should help. It's not a guarantee that will make you bisexual, but it's a surefire, at least attempt. So let me know how that goes. Do you see yourself settling down with a woman or a man, or do you have a preference? Who says I want to settle down at all, eh? Who do you prefer to be with, women or men? There's a lot of preference-related questions here, but do I prefer to be with women or men? Honest to God, it is down to the individual. I'm not going to say, oh, I prefer to be with a man if they're like not a nice person over being with a girl who is super lovely, or vice versa. Honest to God, it's down to the human being themselves and the relationship we have going on at the time. So I don't have a preference as to either or. Just gotta be a nice person. That's it. That's all I ask for. Come on. Is it easier to date a man or a woman? This is insinuating that there's such thing as easy dating, which I have yet to stumble upon that method of dating. Please teach me your ways. But initially I thought, oh, maybe women because they get the emotional thing a little bit better, but that's not true, because I've dated a lot of emotionally in tune guys. I've also dated girls who are very unintuned with their emotions. So honestly, again, it is irrelevant of gender. Dating's just not easy for me, so I can't speak on behalf of all bisexuals. Again, so yeah, there's no easy dating mode. How often do you question your sexuality? Ooh, good question. A lot, actually. Because like I might go a little while of maybe just like dating a specific gender. So I might be regularly seeing a person, and then I question my sexuality because I'm like, maybe I'm just gay then. Maybe I was never into guys. And then when that like thing fizzles out and I start dating guys again, I do the same thing. I'm like, maybe I was never really into girls. And honestly, it is because of the way I date for the person. So whenever I start falling for them, I kind of forget about other people, almost. But I question it, yeah, a lot. Obviously as well, whenever, you know, you start developing a crush on someone, you just naturally question your sexuality in the sense of, ooh, am I bi? Yes, definitely bi. So I very rarely question it in like an existential way where I'm like, maybe I'm not a bisexual at all. Because for me, I've always been and always will be. So who's your biggest / first female celebrity crush? P.S. I love you so much. I love you too. My biggest first female celebrity crush. Wow, good question. I think someone I remember having a massive crush on from a very young age was Kelly Kapowski from Saved by the Bell. Obviously at the time I didn't know, I didn't think to question it as a sexuality thing, because sexuality wasn't something that like I started thinking about till I was older. So I just remember just really liking Kelly Kapowski. So yeah, that. How often are you asked if you're up for a threesome when someone finds out you're bi? Okay, well, a lot, firstly, but only from guys. I've never been dating a girl and said about you being bi and they're like, oh, so threesome? That's never happened. So it's a guy specific thing for me. It happens way more than I would like to admit. And a lot of the time they mean nothing by it. They just mean it more of like a joke because it's just a thing to say when someone says they're bi. I don't know. I've been hurt a few times by that because I might have really liked someone, maybe liked them for like a few months, and then they find out I'm bi and they're like, oh, so you'd be up for a threesome then? And you're just about like, oh, I had faith in you. And then I have to reevaluate and just remind myself, you know, just because they said that thing doesn't mean they're a bad person. And I've maybe talked to them about it and just been like, it's a bit reductive what you just asked. And every single time I've had to do that, where I've pointed it out, they've been like, oh yeah, no, I was actually just kind of like kidding. So I was just a bit curious or whatever. And you just have a dialogue about it. And because for me, obviously, I don't like to hold resentments or anything like that. So I try to talk about it as quickly as I can. And it's always boded well. But yeah, it sucks at the time though. But hey ho. At this moment right now, would you rather go on a date with a girl or a boy? BTW, you're so pretty. Aw, thank you, appreciate it. I don't want to go on a date with anyone, so make of that what you will. Is there a trait shared by both male and female that you look for? I think for me it's mainly kindness. I like kind eyes. But also I like a bit of like nerdy / geekiness, or just passionate about something. So yeah, passionate and kind is what I go for, and it doesn't matter if they're a guy or a girl. Bonus points for intellect. I very much like dating very smart people, because I feel like I learn a lot from them. So yeah. If you were to date a girl, would you be a boy or a girl in the relationship? Okay, so firstly, we need to dismantle this idea that if two girls are in a relationship, that one of them has to be the man, because that's not how it works. But I get what you're asking though, and I've been told when I've dated girls that I tend to be a gentlewoman. So like opening doors, like you can have my coat, like here, I don't know, I tend to fulfill that stereotypical where we would think men would be in that side of things, even though in straight relationships that doesn't always work out that way, because I've dated guys and I've taken on what we perceive as that more masculine role. So honestly, it's not a strictly bi thing for me. Apparently that's the role I take on, but not always. This is a simple one here. Are you sexually attracted to men, women, or both? For me, this is where I question my own terminology, because I always say bi, but that's because I adopted that label when I was very young. When I was like 15, I said I was bisexual. But when I look at modern day labels and modern day terms, sometimes I do fit more under the bracket of pansexual, where you don't care about like their gender, their genitalia, where they identify as, or anything like that. So for me, that's definitely very true, because I really, really don't consider someone's gender when it comes to dating them. So if they don't even like assign themselves to any gender, I don't care. So bisexual, pansexual is kind of where I land. But like I said, I say bisexual because that was the term I owned when I was like 15. So I've kept it on, but realistically I'm pansexual. So any gender, woo. How long did it take you to realise that your first bi crush was actually a legit crush? Not too long actually, thank gosh. There was a girl I like admired, shall we say, for quite a long time. She was a good friend of mine, and it wasn't until I was like 15 at a party, and we ended up kissing, that I realised like everything kind of hit me in a moment where I was like, oh gosh, all those girls that I like just thought I wanted to be, I actually fancied them. So even though it didn't ever become a thing, me and her, that was a big massive learning curve for me, because that taught me about my sexuality, and it made things a lot clearer for me. And I hadn't known her for that many years or anything like that, so I didn't have to wait long to find out that it was a legit bi crush. So sick. Do you ever feel dismissed being bi because you're not straight and you're not gay? Yes, actually you do. It's very rarely portrayed in the media, especially bisexual people, bisexual characters. But also just on a personal level, I've had lesbian girls that I've been dating not date me and exclusively for the reason that I'm bisexual, and I've had straight guys not date me because I'm a bisexual as well. Sounds mental, but it's true and it's happened. So you don't really feel sometimes very welcome in the LGBTQ plus community, and then you don't feel like you're obviously straight enough to be welcome just as a regular straight person. So yeah, it's a bit of a bizarre world, especially whenever there are so many gosh darn bisexuals. Like, obviously not a lot of out bisexuals, but it makes up the biggest part of the LGBTQ plus community. So yeah, obviously they were just a few individual cases and not everybody is like that. I understand. But yes, I have felt dismissed in my life for being bisexual. So alright, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. And don't forget, if I didn't answer your question or if you didn't submit a question, then don't worry, you can ask me in the comments section below and I will try my best to answer that. And on that note, happy Pride Month, and I hope you're having a happy day and that the world is treating you the way you deserve. Alright, bye!